What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Friends of Mortgage Heroes. I'm Brian.
I'm Will.
And today we're joined by Miguel Aldrete, a longtime Mortgage Heroes friend. He's a local investor, realtor, author, and now just taking on the world and creating as a founder of a new project that we're going to be discussing here. So without more to do, let's get right into it, Miguel.
Yeah.
I know we got a lot to unpack. We just had a pre-conversation that was just, segued right into what we're going to get into. So, man, tell us about it, man.
Dang,
Give us a little intro.
From the last time I was here, your intros got 10 times better, man. It seems like you've been practicing for sure.
Hey, bro.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. But, lights on you, bro. You got into a new venture. You continuously add new tools to your tool belt. Tell us where you're at now, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just to recap on everything we've been doing, the past 3 years, I was working acquisitions for Mankind Investment Group, local, mom and pop real estate developer here. Just a month ago, I transitioned back to direct to consumer ADU development projects with ADU Pals. So they have, their design and build company. They have in-house architecture, in-house construction. So that's been super interesting, just reshaping the sales process, introducing the KPIs, the CRMs, the inbound leads, all that kind of stuff that I've been doing in the past. But over the past couple of years, I've made a lot of relationships with realtors, homeowners, et cetera. And the biggest question I always got was, hey, I have this property or I have this deal. It has a huge backyard. What can I build on it? And sometimes it is a phenomenal deal, but a lot of times there's other factors other than the grass in the backyard that makes it a good deal, right? So we're talking about zoning, we're talking about FAR, we're talking about, how much buildable square footage, TPA zones, all that other stuff. So I'd spend a lot of time sitting down with people and explaining why it's not a good deal. Actually, 90% of the time, it's not a good deal, right? And it's like, hey, even though you have a giant backyard, it's like you either have a slope or the rents aren't high enough to make it, actually profitable, or, you're asking 200K over ask, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'd spend a lot of time doing that. And I remember 9 months ago, I went up to visit my buddy in Seattle, and he works for Amazon. And he's a software engineer over there. And I was telling him, I'm like, yeah, this is, I'm underwriting deals all the time. I spend most of my day underwriting deals on a spreadsheet. It's like, I wish I could just automate this, And he's like, actually, you can.
It's like, what do you mean?
I was like, yeah, what do you mean by that? And he was like, yeah, what are the main parameters you're looking for? And we had dinner and we were talking about it. And it gave me this idea that, hey, it would be awesome to have a tool that anybody can search up a property and within seconds, instead of an hour, find out.
Or days.
Or days, depending on who it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Find out what they can do on the property with suggestions on the current building code and what they can do. So that's been over the last 9 months developing a project that just exactly a week ago we launched called Builder Match. So it's for the city of San Diego. Anybody who has an address can type it in and find out exactly what they can do on the property. It'll give them 2 or 3 options on what's possible: rental comps, zoning, a building score, etc. Just taking the complicated language of the city building code and putting it in plain old English.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
I think that's crazy because up until now, there's technology like this out now. People are just guessing, using spreadsheets and going based off certain research that they do and hope that it's solid. And if you didn't do your research well, down the line you'll see it in your project.
Exactly.
And you know what's cool about that is normally we don't know where to start. So unless we hear somebody else that's actually had that experience, or your neighbor that's actually building an ADU, then you go to them.
Yeah.
And the norm is you ask for a feasibility study.
Correct.
What can I do that? So what you're saying with your new app, with your Google friend, you guys created this masterpiece that you just put your address and it gives you a feasibility study essentially.
Pretty much. Of course, right? If you are actually pursuing a project, I would still recommend, hiring somebody to go deep and find any nuances on that specific project. But, especially if you're looking for that first deal, you're on Zillow, you're finding, 5 properties that you want to analyze a week. it's like, hey, just off the score, like you can compare, hey, this one has an 85 score and this one has a 20 score. Like, don't waste my time there, right?
That's pretty freaking cool, man.
I feel the leverage in that also is that, right off the bat, you can go and then actually cross-reference it with an expert and not, hope that they give you the information. And then you're like, well,
trust that it's
that's true.
Yeah.
But at least if they give you information and it's, different or completely different or the same, at least you're right in the ballpark and you're having that information that backs you up and you don't feel like you could take advantage.
Damn, I'm excited. I want to start plugging in some addresses,
Yeah. And the other thing, it's like we were looking at like the average feasibility study, like to take a professional licensed architect, they're going to charge $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 just to find out if this is even possible,
exactly.
Right? And it's like now for free, really. I mean, we have pro features and what.
Yeah.
But really, if you wanted to create an account, play with it, and find out what you can do, for free, you're saving $1,500 every time you want to find out what you can do.
Mine would be a little less if I recommend them. They're, the feasibility study person would give them a discount. But now, that avoids all that.
But that's how impactful it is that many people, like, you could charge that much because it's that much in demand.
Yeah. And not only that, it takes a few weeks or whatever. It wasn't something that a turnaround was immediate. Imagine now you just plug in your address and you get to see, mira what you build in your backyard. Like that's a whole different excitement at a different level.
Right now, I think you saw a video yesterday. Someone sent me an address and I was like, you know what, let me film, let me see how long it takes, and it pulled up all the information in less than 30 seconds.
And that's the power behind, because I think it's that, like, it gives people the clarity to say, oh, okay, I do got something here. Now I could actually go and see if we can make this happen without being like, I don't know, I think so, I have the backyard, it's big enough, I could probably build something, but you never come around it because you never really see it for what it could really be.
Exactly. And it'll literally tell you, so it gives you the way we train the AI model was we took all of the projects that we analyzed in the past 3 years. So it was like over 150 projects that I had underwritten, and we only ended up buying like 10 of them, right? So it takes all the stuff that didn't work and why it didn't work, and then it takes the 10 projects as like prime examples of what does work. And then it will give you recommendations like, hey, option 1, it's like super low resistance, build 1 ADU, convert your garage, maybe add a bonus, etc. And it's like option 2, if you want to max it out, this is what the full potential of the lot is. Like there was one that I saw a few weeks ago, and it was like when we were beta testing, and it was like you could build 30 plus units, but you're going to have underground parking. You're going to have this, like it's going to cost you way more.
Cool.
So,
I like that because a lot of people get like super excited when they say, I'm going to develop an apartment unit, multiple units, 10 units, but then you don't see those underlining like obstacles or all that stuff, underground parking. And then you have to make sure that you're able to do it in that area.
Exactly.
Added cost. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, because sometimes it doesn't pan out, right? Like I've had people send me deals. They're like, you can build 50 units on here. I'm like, yeah, dude, but that's going to cost $30 million. Where the hell am I going to get that?
No, exactly. So before this, how long will it take you to underwrite just the file before you can say like, hey, I'm going to present this now to the investor and we're going at this?
Yeah, for me, and this was my full-time job, so I had a lot of practice doing it. It would take me anywhere between 1 to 2 hours per address, right? So there was a lot of addresses that I wouldn't even plug in there because I was like, that's a waste of time. Like I already can see the initial, feasibility and know that it's not possible, right? So now like I'm on the go, someone sends me an address, I type it in, press enter, and then I can see like, hey, dude, not going to work. Or if it gives me a score of 80, 85, whatever, I'm like, okay, let me get back to the office and actually do a full underwrite.
That's awesome. I mean, you could lose literally a deal in minutes.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about it took me a couple hours, I mean, you could already go back to that property and think you already have a good, but that property may already been sold.
If it's a good deal, it's going to get sold quick.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you have freaking this type of data at your fingertips in seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also win more deals.
100%.
So walk me through this. So I find a property, I input the information, it starts pulling data. how does the system determine it's a good deal? Like, what is it utilized to say, hey, based off these factors, you got a 85 right here?
Yeah, the first parameter that it takes into account is the lot size, right? So a lot of times it has to do with land massing. So people might be in a great zone. Like I got a deal yesterday that's RM 410, which is a brand new zone, and FAR is phenomenal, but the lot size was 3,900 square feet.
Oh, crap.
So it's like, even though the zoning is great, I'm going to have to build up, which means I'm going to have to tear that existing house down, et cetera, et cetera. So the first parameter is the lot size. The second one is the zoning designation. So there's certain zones like RS17, when the whole craze was going on, 2020 to 2023.
City rush.
Yeah, the city literally let everybody do whatever they want, including RS17 zones, and they just scaled it back because those are technically supposed to be residential zones, right? So now, even though you have a giant lot, but it's RS17, and even though you can physically fit a lot of stuff, you're not allowed to do it, right? So the first one is lot size. The second one is zoning. The third one is remaining buildable, right? So there's a formula to calculate how much square footage is left to build. So it takes the first two into account, the lot size, the FAR, and then depending on how much square footage is left, then that's the third parameter. And then the fourth parameter is specific zoning designations. So if you're within, a high transit authority area, if you're within a complete communities area, et cetera, other features, that's kind of like a bonus.
It allows you to build more, right?
Exactly. Yeah. There are areas that the city's like promoting, like let's just say Barrio Logan.
Yeah.
Almost everything there is
You can build.
Yeah.
Please build here.
Because it's right outside downtown. Like they ran out of space in downtown, and now they're extending it, an extra half a mile or a mile. So it takes all those four into account to give you the score. So off the free version, you'll get basically all the information pulled from the city, which right now is really what ScoutRed offers. But if you're not familiar with development, it's a foreign language to you.
Yeah.
It's like, what does the zoning code mean? What does the FAR mean, et cetera? But it'll present it to you.
Yeah.
The second thing is the building score. So it takes those basically parameters and gives you a score from 0 to 100. And obviously color coded and it looks all pretty. So if it's red, it's like stay away. If it's yellow, maybe. If it's green, like you should fully look into it.
I like that.
And then the third thing is the AI analysis, right? So that will give you 3 separate cards. The first card is a quick summary of the property and what's good about it, what's bad about it. The second card is a path of least resistance option if you want to build 1 or 2 units. And then the third card is like, hey, this is the max, but the max also includes these risks. So watch out for that.
So it gives you a thorough, like, honestly breakdown of everything. And instead of saying, hey, I have to go from page to page, from resource to resource to my title guy, to then, hopefully he gets that information from me that same day.
Even when I was underwriting, I'd have like 10 tabs open.
Yeah.
I have one open for rental comps, one open for zoning. Then I have the city website. Then I have Zillow open. Then I have, so now it's like all in one.
So, instead of, wasting time going, like you said, from tab to tab, now you get direction in minutes. Who would you say this is like who's the ideal avatar for this app? Like, who do you say that this would streamline their process and say like, yo, like I really could just save a whole bunch of time here?
Yeah, there's 2 sides to it. There's the first one that wants to get educated, right? So the realtors and homeowners are huge, because if you have a listing, I see listings all the time that people put, and it's like ideal development opportunity. I literally look at it in seconds. I'm like, bro, that's the
But do they just have a big
false
lot?
Yeah.
Do they just have a big lot?
It's like, that's the most false advertising I've ever seen. So like for a realtor, they can literally download the report. Yeah. So if they're going to go into a listing presentation, imagine it's like one realtor shows up and it's like, hey, here's your comps, etc. And the second realtor shows up and they're like, hey, here's a full report on what's possible on your property, and we can market this towards developers and they can pay a premium for it instead of the comps, because that house is in a different zoning or that house down the street has a smaller lot. It's still a 3-2.
Yeah.
But this one we can market towards developers. So you can literally download a PDF exactly of that report.
That's strong.
So that just opened up the pool of other type of buyers that would come into that. And
100%.
you're going to generate a lot more wealth or, for that seller, which is
so I was a traditional residential realtor for a long time when we met. And then I switched over to developers, and honestly, it was like, instead of having to market to new buyers, it was the same buyer buying 10 houses from me every year, right? So it was like, just because I knew the zoning code and I could look up a property and tell him, hey, this is what I suggest we do here, saves him a bunch of time. So it gave me that edge with being young and not having a lot of people my age buying property.
Creativity.
That kind of gave me the edge. So the first half of the market that could use this app is people who want to get educated. So I'd say your average residential realtor and, homeowners that just want to know what's possible. And then the second half is people who already know this information. They can find it themselves, but just want to save time.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where I'm at. I fall into that bucket. It's like I could spend 2 hours researching a property, or I can skip through 10 properties to find the one that's worth my time.
Yeah, of course.
So that's where the second half of the users come in, which is really a lot of the people that are using it right now, or a lot of my contacts that have beta tested it and have given me some suggestions. So originally it was those 3 features. Then we added, like for pro features, we added rental comps, because they need to know right away. Like,
so almost like your air DNA going in there.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Or we used to do Rentometer.
Rentometer, yeah.
So it takes that data from Rentometer and literally presents it, like through an API connection, presents it for you right away. It's like 1 bedrooms in this area go for this much, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. And then the fourth one is, if you're really looking to, or the fifth feature, if you're really looking to dive into the project, we took all the cost of all the projects that we actually built, and then created parameters around what it would cost you to build there. So
on average.
Exactly. So you can say, hey, I'm building 1 unit for 1,000 square feet, and it'll tell you, hey, this is how much you should expect to pay in design. This is how much you should expect to pay in permit fees. This is how much you should expect to pay in construction. And
I love that. We were just
I told you we were talking about you.
Yeah. So I love that, because a lot of people, we have a lot of homeowners that come to us and they don't understand the soft cost.
Yes.
They're like, hey,
correct.
I just want to do a refinance. And I'm one of those, like, we want to wait until we have the drawings, where you're going to build, and we want to have the permits. I don't want to get you in debt right now if you don't have any of that, because what if you don't complete the project and the money is sitting there and now you're wasting on something else,
Exactly.
So it's like,
and there's so the parameters really, when we dove into this, was a lot of people look at price per square foot on construction. There's probably like $100,000 to $150,000 that comes before that, between design being like 15 to 25 grand, depending on how many units you're building. It could be 10, 15, 20,000 for a permit fee. Then you have SCG&E, then you have utilities. It's like the price per foot starts at the foundation and up, So especially for like the construction side with ADU Pals, we get shopped around a lot for price per square foot. And that's why we have 2 services separate. And it's like, we'll sell the design that people can get all the way to permits, and we encourage it. We're like, take that permit, go shop it around with other contractors, and then that's a completely separate, that's Archaven Builders. So they completely separate entity that does the construction side. But most people are only looking at the price per square foot on construction.
Correct.
And they forget about all the soft costs that goes into it.
I think it's very important that you said that, because a lot of people get very excited, and to Will's point, they say, let me go get that HELOC, let me go take that cash out. And they don't know that you need all that upfront work, and it could take months for you to be able to get that done. And if you jump the gun, now you're paying perhaps on stuff that you took out, or, you're incurring costs that you shouldn't yet be paying for. And I think it's very, very dope that you have this tool that bypasses all that.
Well, and then does this tool also, like here in East, like we have 2 school districts. Does it also know that?
We're not there yet.
Okay,
so we're a week in. That's actually something.
He's like, no.
Right.
Yeah, because that's a good one. That's one thing I battle. Like, I'm all happy getting permits, right? You don't just have the impact fees with the city of Chula Vista. You have 2 school districts.
Exactly.
That you actually have to pay them for permits too.
Yeah. So right now, like it, and there's so many variables. So we did kind of cover our ass, and we do have a range in price. Right. Yeah. It's not going to be exact. It's never going to be exact.
Of course,
even
it
if
never
you get
will. Of course.
So we have a range in price. And then when we were beta testing, we took all the projects we did. We have real costs on how much it costs us, and made sure that every single one, the final cost landed in between that range. So, and it, as of now, every project that I've seen is 100% accurate on it will land in that range, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the bigger the project, the more that range ends up getting bigger, right? If you're building 10 units, there's way more variables that goes into it.
That's what I was going to bring up. And even regardless, then you still have that, you still have to keep in mind that something else could come up that you don't know, but at least you have a very clear indicator of where it could be at.
Yeah, exactly. So if like you're getting a project that's going to be like, you get it in that range and it's like 5 to 550. Well, now hey, okay, I have to be somewhere, or I have to get financing for somewhere in between $500,000. So it gives you a ballpark of, okay, how much money am I actually going to need? Versus, is it going to be 200? Is it going to be 500? Is it going to be 300? You kind of have a range of where you should be playing. And same thing, you use that tool to go shop with architects and be like, hey, I should be somewhere around 15 grand for the plans. Why are you charging me 40,000?
I think that's where the power lies for like people that don't know at all. Like this is a leverage tool that allows you to, because I feel sometimes people like they won't take action because A, they don't want to go ask and sound stupid. B, they don't know who to ask or if they can even trust them. And like what we've seen now with ChatGPT, all these language models, is that we go to it first to get a general understanding, and then now we feel confident enough to go and ask someone that really does this, so that we don't feel like we're getting played or we sound like we know what we're talking about. And it gives you more options for better opportunities.
Yeah, and as we know, both in the loan side, residential, real estate, it's like the educated customer ends up making the best decisions and usually pulls the trigger the fastest, right? Because they know that they're not getting screwed over. That's why we see these big time developers, like they'll make decisions and wire the money within 24 hours.
They know. Because
they're super well educated. The person who doesn't know is going to take 6 months to pull the trigger.
True.
On a
It's so
pre-qual,
true,
right?
It's just so true. So with your app, obviously you put single family residence. Can it also go in the commercial realm?
So right now it's single family and multifamily. Obviously, like commercial that you're talking about, there's already an existing 20 unit, 30 unit. I don't think it would be that accurate. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we should break test.
Yeah. So I don't, because it's really focused on you're developing on the lot.
Yeah.
Right. Where I think, like I talked to somebody yesterday, they have a fund. They just bought a 28 unit apartment complex and they're going to just remodel all the units, increase the rents, et cetera. So this is more of like a development feasibility that really takes your existing, really the whole craze right now is redeveloping.
Absolutely. I mean, that's, we back many years ago, obviously you and I weren't born yet. You were really not born, but we had a gold rush.
Yeah.
And for me, the way I explain the ADU right now, that is the gold rush for California right now. That is the way to, especially with the medium sales price being $1,020,000, this is a good way to convert your garage, start small, get the idea of what the process looks like, and then starts kind of scaling yourself if this is something you want to do.
Yeah, I have a great story actually. So this was like right when I was starting to get into this space. I had a referral client who was a bartender, and my friend who introduced me to her actually met her because he was like at the bar and met her, and she was like, I want to, buy a house, etc. So got the referral, and she ended up seeing a house that was like $700,000 and it was on market for like 90 days. Right. And she was like, hey, like, can we offer 600 on this? I think I was like 19 or 20 years old at the time. I was like, I was so embarrassed to put in the offer. I was like, damn, $100,000 under. I was like, this is crazy. And it was like 2019, 2020. It was like people were actually like,
Yeah, it was healthy. Yeah.
Right. And I was like, oh my God. So I sent in the offer and I didn't even want to open my email. I get the call from the guy. The guy calls me. He's like, yeah, like my clients are like, they really need to sell. So yeah, let's do it. $600,000. Like, let's get it done. So she ended up, it had a detached garage. She converted her garage and then house hacked the whole thing. So she had all her like bartender friends like go live there, and then house hacked it, converted the garage, rented it, and then just last week she called me and she's like, hey, like, can I get a valuation on the property? I want to pull the money out and go do it again. And now she's literally like financially free off of one deal that she did. Went from a bartender to a real estate investor, and it was like she just saved all the money that she was making off tips and stuff. Damn. And literally now is on to her second development deal.
That's pretty cool, man.
Literally buying the house, converting the garage, and I'm like, wow, that's like a perfect I got to have her on the podcast.
Yeah.
She took action and it's pretty cool.
And you just said that she took action. So I think with an app like this that you've created, that's going to help more people take action because now they have a visual what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we think, yeah, I want to do a 3-unit here, but after you see the cost, because it's going to give you that, maybe that's a little too much, maybe a little overwhelmed. We'll start little,
Yeah.
100%.
So I love that it's just it's a match made in heaven. How did you guys come up with the name?
So Builder Match, ideally honestly, like I was playing around with a ton of names that didn't like that already existed.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like, property radar.
Yeah.
This, that. So you're playing with a bunch of names. You finally find one that you like. You go on like the website already exists. You're like, damn it. But what our long-term goal is to really connect these people because we're seeing people searching. We're seeing people like finding out what they can do. Then they want to move forward. What's the next step? Well, right now, luckily, I'm working with ADU Pals, so we can provide that next step. We can consult them. We can provide the service. But I'm seeing pretty soon they're going to have, like, we're going to be at capacity. So the ideal goal is to build those relationships with other contractors and other architects and other people that are involved in the process where they can start, getting leads from this as well.
Got it.
So builder match it, like once you find out what you can do, we'll match you with the right builder to get it done. Right.
So in like
Very clever.
the most millennial Gen Z form, this is kind of like a Tinder for investors.
Sure, exactly. Right now.
Funny enough, I've never had a dating app, so I don't know, but
Yeah. You know what? A long time ago, I got asked to beta test something.
No, that's really cool, man. That's a really cool.
But someone did comment this yesterday. I posted the video of
Yeah.
and they were like, this is like a dating app for investors. I'm like, yes, like it.
I'm like, is there going to be a feed? And like, I just got one, just locked one in.
No, I like that, dude. It's very clever. Builder match, like very catchy, very good, easy to remember. So it's like, I'm going onto that app.
Yeah, exactly.
So what made you realize like, yo, like we need this? Like this is something like the public, the investor world, the real estate needs.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was I was starting to get annoyed. Like I was getting really annoyed with people like sending me properties. Like I don't want to talk bad about an industry, but I get wholesalers all the time send me deals like, yo, like this is a good development deal. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then they send me another one. I was like, this is a good development deal. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, now I'm literally like, type it into the app. If it has a score of 70 and up, then send it to me.
Send it. That's actually
Now, and
really
that's
good.
smart because I mean you're also taking care of your time and their time, and that's one of the most like expensive commodities.
And I'm a super nice guy, so
Yeah.
I would sit on a Zoom call
I would.
and walk them through why it's not a good deal.
Yeah.
Right? So that hoping that the next time they send me something,
They pay more attention.
it matches what. But then they would never do it, right?
But I mean, I always refer it back to like the ChatGPT because you can, no matter what, like you can keep asking it. It's going to give you the information of how you need it. And I feel like that's how it is for like the investment. Like you're going to get information that you understand. And now you could go and be like, this is a good deal. Please look at it.
It's green. It's green.
Can you buy, please? Can you buy?
Yeah,
It's
so that's
green, right?
obviously the more, and this was another thing I was learning through the process because we like came up with the idea 9 months ago, and then like I really started like not sleeping like the past
that's a
3
great
months
sign.
in getting it done. So we would finish like obviously we're working in real estate all day, so then it would be like 6 or 7 or 8 p.m. and then I'd hit the gym, come back to the office until like 1 a.m. to just like fix bugs and beta test and do all that stuff. And at the end, like the last couple months, I started doing like demos for other real estate developers before we launched. And I was like, what feature, like the whole rental comp idea came from TJ Miller.
Oh, dope.
And then
Shout out TJ.
yeah. And then the
TJ.
build cost calculator came from Flipper. Her name is Michelle Stevenson.
Oh, nice.
So she has like a spreadsheet where she calculates estimated build costs. And she was like, hey, this would be a cool feature. So at some point I was like, you know what? Like if we keep going, like I will never launch. Yeah. Like there's 100 features we can add on this thing. So at some point I said, okay, April 2nd, whatever's done is done. Like we got to get it out.
Yeah.
And my partner is helping me do this, Antonio,
Yeah.
behind the scenes, he's doing a lot of the work. And And he was like, no, it's not ready. It's not ready. I'm like, dude, whatever's done on April 2nd is getting launched. And then that's how we're going to get a ton more feedback.
And exactly.
That's why we've been giving a ton of promo codes so people can upgrade for like damn near minimal cost.
Yeah.
Just so we can get that feedback. And we've gotten great. Like today, someone was like, hey, like the search bar has to be this certain way or like this and that. And we're constantly adding like one thing at a time, depending on what people ask for. You know?
So you mentioned like, you work with the team and all that. And I feel that it takes a lot of confidence, faith, and passion to be able to, create a project like this. How did you pass that vision onto your team and say, hey, I need your guys' help to build this?
Yeah. Realistic. It's just two of us. So it's me and Antonio are building it. And honestly, I move super fast. Like he's always like blown away at like how fast I'm like, all right, cool. Like we had the idea, like when I met with him, within like 2 days, we had the LLC set up. We had the bank account set up. We had like our logo. We had the website. We had this, we had that. And he was like, what the hell? I'm like,
this is real.
I'm running at 100 miles an hour. But I think the biggest like thing I've seen and I've seen Will do as well is empower the people that are in your group. So like I said, the last 3 months I was working for these developers, I was getting paid well, but I didn't feel a purpose anymore because it was acquisitions, but they weren't buying. So I was like, why am I doing the work if they're not going to buy anyways, right? So it was the same concept as like, I empowered him and I said, hey, go learn this, like go learn that. And then every time he would go learn it, and then he would come into the meeting saying like, look what I discovered, look what I found, right? And once you give somebody a purpose, like I think in the whole business world, like that's worth way more than money because they'll work for free if they have a clear purpose.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. And then you're so modest, man. You're saying, oh, I'm a realtor. You're a broker. You're actually one of the youngest brokers in Chula Vista.
I'm like, bro.
Now my son's actually getting his broker's license, so he's going to be one of the youngest ones. But
awesome. Yeah, let me know so I can take it off my bio.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been carrying this range for a minute now. I don't want to be the kid.
But I love that from your idea. Now you're giving more purpose to others that already, because you get burned out a lot of times. You get burned out when you're underwriting these deals, right? Yeah, you get these deals, you're like, dude, is this really what I'm going to do? But then when you have a system, really, I'm going to say a resource working with you, thank God, Antonio, right?
Yeah.
That you guys were able to put this vision together. That's like combining resource and really putting something to work in your favor, where you're going to help a community. This is what people don't understand is you, by doing that, you're helping a community grow. Yeah. And that's what we need to take advantage, especially here right now in San Diego, or California, because it's just a gold rush.
Yeah.
For ADUs.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, and like to me, the way that I see it is that once you've switched over from when you were saying you're working for those developers and you found a new purpose, how does that feel now running with that energy?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's such a big difference because I'm working 2 to 3 times as much like hours, but I don't feel as tired. Like I get home and I want to like open up my laptop and keep going. And I told that to Jonathan, who runs ADU Pals. I was like, hey, dude, like you helped me like find my purpose again, because they run at 100 miles an hour, right? Like they're like, let's open up this arm. Now we have a client meeting. Now let me show you. Like first day, it's like drive around all the projects that we're currently working on, and I felt that energy. I remember I had lunch with my dad a few weeks ago, and he was like, hey, like I can see you got your spark back, right? Because when I am like in the zone, like I'll be like, this is all I'm talking about. I'm talking faster. I'm like moving quicker. Like things are getting done. Ideas are flowing. The shower thoughts are going.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, it's a big difference. And honestly, I learned a ton like from the previous developers. I think it gave me a huge credibility, being able to see the project from start to finish, being able to see all the nuances, like go and meet with the electrician because we didn't pass the SCG&E, like, what is it called? The inspection.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are building some projects too.
We
right?
just finished, so we know the headache. We understand it. we get it. So when you're saying all this, like I get it.
That's why I was like, it's a perfect mix of avenues right now, because literally we're on the way out, and like you just dropped that. And I mean, if we would have had some tool like that, it's like it just makes it a lot easier.
Are you guys exiting the project?
Right now? Yeah. And right now we're in between whether we do Airbnb, we do midterm, or we do long-term rents.
Okay.
And so I got somebody in my ear. go the Airbnb route. You're in a good place, good location.
Where
you should
is
be
it?
fine. In Chula Vista by the golf course.
Right next to you,
Oh,
at the
nice.
San Diego
So
Golf
pretty
Course.
close to the Gaylord.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and you know, when you see certain things, you don't really have the vision because you're not in that, you know, that world. But it's just like, you know, if a client comes and wants to develop something, they don't know how to look at it the way you look at it.
Exactly. And I think that's what you were saying, right? Because someone did ask us, they were like, well, what's the difference between going to ChatGPT and going here? And it's like, a lot of times, especially like homeowners, they don't know what questions to ask. And it's like, just, so that's where like a lot of this is like, hey, just type in the address and literally there's going to be a ton of stuff that you didn't even know like you had to ask, right?
Yeah.
So like that, I mean, that sparks like a little like idea in my head. It's like you utilize that as point A, then you then dump that into your language model of choice, and then you ask it, let me know what questions to ask based on this information.
Exactly.
So that when I go and meet with a contractor, I'm not caught flat-footed. I know what to ask, and I could position myself in the best way to get the best deal.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, dude, this is just great. Like I said, if I had my cell phone right now, I'd be clicking away right now.
Yeah.
Just trying to see all my properties and which one I can build what.
So what would you say your goal for the first year is? Like, where do you see yourself at the end of, this year with the builder match?
Yeah. So our immediate goal is within the next 6 months, get enough users that it constitutes being able to roll out the contractor like marketplace. Right? Because I do see, like, I have buddies of mine that are contractors and they're really good at their craft, but then they don't know where to go get business. Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're amazing at building, homes, but then they're not really savvy on the marketing or the business side or, whatever. So this will be like really like a hyper Angie's List where it's hyper focused. People are literally searching on what to build, how to build it, and then when they want to connect to a contractor. So our next 6 months is to build the user base, get the word out, have people start using it, get the feedback. That's really where it is. And then 6 months from now, start rolling out the contractor side. And then we're currently working on a deal because we want to promote it with all the realtors, is we have a few contacts working the whole like political side to eventually get it as a feature on the MLS.
Wow.
So
crazy.
So really it's like all the realtors in San Diego will have this tool. Same thing. I mean, there's always tools. There's tools on the MLS right now that people don't use, right? Yeah. So the few that do learn it and are able to use it and can show up to their listing presentation with a PDF on what's possible on their property, it's going to really like shoot them up, right?
Yeah.
And then so that's the goal really for the first 6 months. I haven't thought like a year out. Like I'm very very fast. So we'll see where we're at in 6 months. But we do want to have the marketplace roll out in the next 6 months for contractors, architects, etc., to start getting leads from it. And then ideally in the next 12 months is be able to finalize that deal with the MLS, and then eventually expand to LA and Orange County. Right now we only have San Diego. Because we'd have to learn the building code over there, learn the average price over there. Everything we did for San Diego, redo it over there.
And everything's different. Every area, every county, it's different.
Oh yeah, 100%. So there's 19 cities in San Diego, and right now, City of San Diego is the one I know the best. But like even Chula Vista, El Cajon, unincorporated areas, La Mesa, which is literally right smack in the middle of City of San Diego, they have other rules. So it's we built like a whole database on the back end that says like, okay, if it's this city, you have to follow these rules. If it's this city, you have to follow these rules.
That's pretty damn cool.
That brings up another point, because it's like more to the reason why there's value in this is that somebody could say that's building in Chula Vista, family member or friend, they're like, hey, I'm building this, it went like this, it's going great. But then you're over there in Lemon Grove, Spring Valley, or a different area, and they're like, yo, I'm not getting the exact same like movement. Mine's taking forever. So this helps you right off the bat be able to just have a little bit more clarity.
Well, that brings up another idea with like timelines and stuff. Like I don't have that on there, is like being able to know like based on your area, because the same thing,
that's
like
another good tool.
City of San Diego has huge capacity and budget to get permits through, where a smaller city like Lemon Grove or La Mesa or whatever, they don't even have the resources available to get it done that fast.
And then so I know that a couple of the cities, they always have their renderings on drawings where you could do. So where you could avoid an architect, would this be something that gets implemented into your app as well? Or
maybe I've seen a lot of issues with those pre-approved plans because it gives the concept to a homeowner who doesn't know what they're doing that you don't need architecture plans. You actually do, right? So you do need a site plan because you can't just smack an ADU on a house that's on a cliffside versus one that's flat versus one that has, you know, neighboring commercial properties. So you still need a site plan that identifies where all the utilities are, identifies how far you're trenching, identifies, you know, all the site work that has to be done for the, even though the floor plan won't have revisions, the site plan is still part of the plans, right? So I actually recommend clients usually don't go that route because they're really crappy floor plans. And it doesn't save you that much money or time because you're still gonna have to hire somebody to go through it. You might as well get what you want, you know? So
Perspective.
That's my recommendation when they're coming to me.
So I know we have you for a short time, but one of the things I did want to say is that, you know, I congratulate you a lot for taking action and, you know, creating a brainchild. I feel like Builder Match is. It's just like my kids. I'm never going to stop trying to develop them. And I'm always going to try to teach them something new. And I feel like, you know, for you taking action and launching, that's one of the biggest steps that people like never take. And they say, never mind, I'm not going to do it. But you said, screw it. Let's send it. Let's see what happens. We'll see the feedback. And from there, I'll understand what I need to do better rather than saying, hey, I need this to be perfect. I know what people want. I'm going to let the people tell me what they want. And then from there, see if, you know,
and I think that's a big thing. And Will has more experience on this in building, you know, partnerships and stuff like that. Because Antonio made the analogy. He's like, I feel like I'm on a kite and I'll just fly away. And if Antonio's isn't holding the string, I'm gone, right? I'll fly up a cliff.
I love that. That's so good.
Because this was my idea. I was like, after the first day, I was like, cool, we got like a good amount of users, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, so we started running like Google ads, right? So people in San Diego that are searching how to build an ADU or whatever can go to our site. And we're only spending like $10 a day, right? So the next day I like went to like a business broker. I got a like approved for a line of credit. I was like, let's run this. And he's like, wait, like, hold on.
We launched yesterday, bro.
He's like, let's get it's only been a week. So he was like, let's get the feedback first. Let's fix it. He's like, if we scale too fast, then we're going to have a lot of people visit the site that don't get what they want and then not ever come back.
This is crazy, man.
So it's actually really interesting, the whole side of it, of like understanding your conversion rates. We like built a new landing page yesterday that, you know, hopefully increases our conversion rates. We're having about 1,000 people visit the site a day. We're only getting like 4 or 5 new users a day, right? So it's like, okay, wait, we have like a really like low conversion. So where are we missing? Is the message not coming across? Like people that I know can understand it because I can explain it to them. But if you're just going straight from Google, you're like, wait, what did I just click on? So we just launched a new landing page today for the Google visitors. Like it's the whole back end of like tweaking crazy little things makes a big difference.
It's insane how it's all relative to sales still, but a complete different avenue of how you're going about it. Cause like now you're talking about, hey, conversion rates, KPIs, things of that matter, where you're like now like the littlest details can make the biggest difference in my conversion numbers.
Yeah. And what's really cool is, as you know, like everyone you meet, you never know who so the developers that I was working for several years, they made a lot of their money selling a software that they had to Amazon. So they sold like a logistics software, right? And I remember when I first met with them, they were telling me their story and they were like, it came down to the color of the button. Like we were A/B testing, what if we have a red buy button versus a blue buy button, and how does it make the difference, right? And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Now that I'm in it, I'm like, yeah, it does make it.
Hey, red or blue, red or blue.
Staples came out with that red button. The red button works.
Exactly. So it's really interesting. So I had him give me feedback yesterday, and he was like, yo, this is super like cool. Like, he said like, you know, the foundation of the product is really good. It gave us a couple suggestions on things we can improve for the user experience.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and the whole like software side, like it's really like we're losing money every month.
Are you investing money?
In what?
No, just flip a perspective. I'm wasting money or investing money.
That's true. We're investing into the product, but it's more of like the scalable side, right? Because in the future, there is exit strategies where even if you're losing money on the company, people will still buy it out and put it into whatever they're doing, right? So it's a whole different mindset of like, how do you build a company that loses money every month and it's still worth a lot?
Yeah.
You know?
And you know, it's crazy. At the end of the day, these investors and people are making multiple six-figure decisions based off of spreadsheets and guesswork.
Yeah. Exactly. And like I said, I think it's for somebody who doesn't know anything, this is an amazing starting point. For somebody who knows a lot, it saves them a ton of time.
Yeah. I keep going back. I want to go.
Either way. So Miguel, before we let you go, bro, is there anything you want to let the audience know? Really just drive the point home. Camera's right there, bro. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing, and Antonio put this together while I was driving over here. So if anybody wants to try it, it's buildermatch.com, BUILDR.
Got me. I went builder. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, we're gonna get the other domain to make it easier, but buildermatch.com. And then we do have promo code HERO. So anybody who wants to upgrade to a premium and use our premium features, they'll get 50% off for life.
Nice.
So whatever the cost is, like $30 a month. So it'll be $15 a month for anybody who uses that promo code. And listens to this podcast, so they can get 50% off for life. Again, we're at the point where we want a ton of feedback on it. So if anybody uses that, they'll be able to test it out really for pennies on the dollar for what they're getting.
Yeah,
it's worth the value,
and
man.
the hero code, look at that.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Well, anything you want to say before
No,
we
I
sign off?
appreciate it. I'm so proud of you. Obviously, I've known you for so many years, and just to see your idea now come to fruition, it's just amazing. So I applaud you. I pat you on the back, and just continue to go with what you're doing. There's always that vision that we need to have in order to just get us to that next level.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're
much.
here so excited with your Celsius, to bet you're moving even more, bro. Like, I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
I am super excited for you. I'm super excited to use your app. Builder. Builder Match is freaking phenomenal. The name, I'm like you said, Tinder. Listen, I have nothing but I applaud you.
Thank you so much. No, and I appreciate you guys' support. This is the second time I'm on here. So when first time I came, it's funny is I met some guy at a networking event when I was 18, right? And obviously we had like zero track record in business. So we're like talking 6 years later, we just had like a beer the other week. And I was like, hey, when we met, we were both bullshitting each other the whole time. Like we hadn't accomplished anything. So the first time I was here, obviously like it was like all these ideas and, I was just getting started, but it's been 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years already.
In that case, I'm going to retract your word. Sorry. It wasn't bullshit. You were trying to figure it out. It's not bullshit when you're trying to figure out. It's bullshit if you didn't even freaking go with it. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
You got it done and here you are.
Hey, I'm going to utilize that. It wasn't bullshit. I was trying to figure it out.
And you did.
Friends, family, community members, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you check this episode out with Miguel Aldrete from Builder Match and download the app and use code HERO to save 50% off lifetime. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys on the next one.
See ya.